Welcome to Bloody Good Horror.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Bloody Good Horror. My name's Eric, and I'll be your host for this evening, where we will be reviewing Werewolves Within. We got ourselves an honest-to-goodness horror movie, fan. Someone is shaking around. Easy, guys. We got a real-ass horror movie on our hands. I'm pretty excited to talk about it tonight. First up, joining me from Hotlanta, Georgia, please welcome Cece.
Hello.
Next up, from Chi-Town, Illinois, welcome Joe.
Oh, hi.
Next up, from a plane of existence removed from the rest of us, please welcome John Schnars.
Hello, Eric.
Living in the bubble. You ever seen that episode of 30 Rock, John, where John Hamm's so pretty?
Super handsome.
Yeah. And last up tonight, from Indiana, please welcome Casey.
Hello.
Casey, you look more and more like that Grateful Dead guy every day. What was that guy's name?
Yeah, I got some Jerry Garcia beard
Jerry
going
Garcia.
today.
That's what it is. Man makes a good ice cream. That's what I'm told.
He's dead also.
Yeah.
Very much
Yeah.
dead.
Just be
For
careful.
like 20 plus years.
Just be careful, Casey. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Joe,
Yeah, boy.
tonight it's Werewolves Within. Please tell us what we are drinking.
Beer guts.
Oh, werewolves. Within. They're within a place. You know what werewolves do, John? They howl. They howl all about out, doing their werewolfing. And in honor of that, I picked a beer. It's from the good folks. I don't know if you're familiar with this. It's a chain restaurant, Lazy Dog Restaurant and Bar. So they call themselves a brewery, I think. But I think they subcontract all the beers that they have in house. But this is one of their house beers, John. It's called the Howlin' Hive, which delicious Hefeweizen, as the kids call it, or you might know it as like a white beer or whatever. Beautiful brew for this time of year, the hot summer months. It's 90 today in the Chicago burbs, so you take one of these outside on your patio or your deck, or I don't want to, whatever you got going on in your life, and enjoy one of these, and you're gonna be feeling okay. So
can I open a window and just kind of peek my head out?
Whatever you got to do to get some of that heat in your face, John. Like I want to just dribbles of sweat coming down your brow. Yeah, that sounds
did
real
not think
good,
you were
right?
going to say brow.
Chiseled. Anyway, so Hefeweizen, a lot of people know like Blue Moon, Hoegaarden, like those are your kind of traditional style. A lot of banana flavor, clove, definitely on the lighter side. This one comes in at only 4.6% alcohol, so take down 6 or 7 of these and then go do your yard work or
you
whatever
want
you
some
gotta do.
alcohol with that beer, Joe? Or
Yeah, I mean, well, the summer months, you don't want to get dehydrated while you're out there. Whatever you do out in your yard, John.
That's a good point.
So yeah, everything. I love Lazy Dog. They opened one here a couple years ago, mostly out west.
Joe, no one who lives in that house with Schnars is mowing the lawn. Let's be real.
Yeah, I mean,
not true. My mother-in-law is 67, 68 years old out there.
Wow, John, you let your mother-in-law mow that lawn?
you make your mother-in-law.
I don't think she would let me.
Okay.
They don't want me anywhere near
Likely
a
excuse.
lawnmower.
Dear God.
One
I'm
time,
looking up the footprint of Lazy Dog. They're in Virginia. Is the closest I think I can get, Joe.
They are. I love this place. Like anytime the wife lets me pick where we're going to eat, I'm like, yeah, let's go there. Because I can tie one on pretty quickly. So yeah, if you have one in your neck of the woods, I definitely suggest taking the trip. lazydog.com, I believe, is their website. But just Google it, have your fun. And yeah,
Have your
there you
fun.
go.
Have your fun,
Just
whatever.
have your fun with the
Love
internet.
it.
You know what, Joe?
I'll tell you, the calorie counts on some of these items on the menu, Joe.
Oh, it's up there, John.
You're
It's up
gonna
there.
need you're gonna need to mow some lawns just to work this baby off.
If you want some suggestions, because I've perused most of the menu, I'm happy to help.
Joe, one time my grandparents were staying with us one summer, and I was mowing the lawn. And my grandfather came out to inform me that I was doing it wrong.
Oh,
And he was going to show me how to do it. Okay. So he takes a lawnmower, and I'm following him. This is like a push lawnmower. I'm following him because I'm thinking, if I let my grandfather mow this lawn, I'm in deep shit later, right? So, like, he's mowing the lawn. He then, this is the information I put together in hindsight. He ran over like an underground bee's nest with the lawnmower.
Oh, wow.
Which I don't know if you've ever encountered the bees that live in the ground, Joe, but they're different. They're
I
a
didn't know that
different
was a
breed.
thing.
And he walked over the hole, angered them, and then they shot straight up onto me, like out of the
Yeah.
ground. I was stung
Oh.
30 times,
Holy shit.
10 times on each leg and 5 on each arm.
Wow.
I had like 2.
Did he get stung?
Okay,
He
when I was
must have
growing
gotten
up,
stung.
I had like a grandmother on my mother's side. She was the one that like babied us. She was like the one that was like, "Oh, you're wonderful angels." Then my father's parents were like, they were like very greatest generation World War II, like y'all are lazy, what like. So I get stung 30 times, and I go inside, and my grandmother says, "Well, I'm not going to call your other grandmother because she'll just take you to the hospital." And I was like, "Right, because like I might die. I think like I
That's
don't."
probably where you should go.
Yeah. Uh-huh. It like she made. You ever do the paste with the baking soda?
Oh, yeah.
She did that
sure,
for me, but
yeah.
I could tell like pained her to try to help soothe me. So like,
Huh.
anyway, that's this week in therapy talk, Joe.
Dear God.
I'm somehow
yeah.
somehow not allergic to bees after that, which is kind of crazy, and I did not go into anaphylactic shock.
Well,
Maybe
yeah.
it was like, they tell you to often like, what is it? I don't know what the phrase is, but maybe you just got so stung by so many, you became immune to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like some
maybe
kind
you
of
have like superhuman powers now. You don't even
Maybe
know.
Right.
you're B-man.
I think,
Right.
Yeah, B-boy.
Bee boy. Oh my God, I love it. Yeah, I was gonna
Underground
say.
B-boy.
I was gonna say some kind of superhero shit's going on now.
Yeah. Next time we're all together, we're gonna spend most of the weekend trying to get B-boy to come out.
Number 2. So that's to me is the worst thing that could happen while mowing the lawn. I guess heart attack is up there. The next
I
thing.
thought you were gonna say your grandfather like keeled over, or
No.
like had an episode.
No, somewhere in that list, Joe, is hitting a dog turd with the lawnmower. That
Oh,
sucks. That is the worst.
Yeah. When I was young, my dad, I think, let me mow the lawn once before he was disgusted by my output.
I'll be honest with you,
And
Joe.
just never again.
I was pretty impressed with my lines. Like I still to this day, I think it was just whatever I did was going to be wrong.
Yeah, I get it.
So anyway, mowing the lawns. Thanks for that, Joe.
Mm.
It is time. Let's take a quick break so that we can review Werewolves Within.
This is it, Jennifer. Your big break in TV. From the prime time. Main feature.
And we're back. John Schnars,
Eric.
you got a real spreading the word of the Holy Bible vibe visually tonight.
Oh, I didn't realize you were wearing short sleeves.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's not. It's also 90 here. Which,
Well, I
like,
didn't know if you had them rolled up. Lord.
I called
I
him.
mean, I could probably roll these up.
I called him a Mormon earlier, and he was questioning whether or not Mormons would be allowed to wear short sleeves. So if we have any Mormon listeners that could let us know, that would be actually.
Oh,
I know.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
they-
think you can wear short sleeves.
I believe in the musical Book of Mormon,
Yeah.
the characters are all in short sleeves.
I mean, it
Yeah,
kind of
white.
doesn't.
It might not be.
White.
canonical,
It doesn't
but-
matter what flavor of. Basically, the idea is, John, you're a person who knocked on my door. When I answer the door, I'm real pissed and I'm not happy, and like I'm kept hostage. by you.
Did they have a party in the back situation going on? Or
I think that probably the cool youths do now to try to like trick you into thinking that we're just cool youths. We just want to talk
yo,
about,
bro, let's talk about
We just want to talk
the
about
good word.
yeah, have you talked with the Lord lately, John? I'm just the word.
Let's rap.
Hey, kids.
Let's rap about it.
It's Poochie.
Yep.
You know what you
I am
got?
part Joe Camel.
You know
that's
what
for
you
sure.
got, John? There, when they answer that door and you're there with that book, you know what's in that book? Words.
Reefer.
What? Words are there, John? That's my segue. Please bring us the word of the day.
I thought you were alluding to one of those special Bibles, you know, that's like carved out in the middle. Whatever. All right,
John, do you
forget
shave your chest or are you just naturally bald?
about it. No, it's natural, bro.
Woo.
Come on. Yeah, I'm too lazy to shave my chest. All right, today's word, Harry, also pronounced potentially Harry or Harry. Yeah, Harry. Harry. This is the verb Harry. I mean, we all know a Harry, I'm sure. Harry, when used as a verb, persistently carry out attacks on, as of an enemy or an enemy's territory, or sort of maybe less warlike. It can just mean persistently harass.
I use the word harried a lot.
Yes, I think that is the most common version of this, you know, where people are encountering it.
I'm gonna start
but
saying,
you know,
"Hey, stop harrying me" to people.
yeah, you could do that, or I'm going to harry you.
Watch out!
That might be threatening. I don't
You're
know.
about to be harried.
The origin here, it goes all the way back to the Germanic, but it comes to English through the Old English, Harrian. I can't, you know, my Old English is not great, which has a similar meaning. So there you go, Harry.
I love it. Thank you, John. Tell me about Werewolves Within. And before you do, I do have one fact that I learned because I read about the movie, John, tonight before we reviewed it.
Do you want like
it
should
was-
be like a round of applause for you?
I know, like,
I
it's
was,
like
I
going
mean, I was
somewhere.
waiting as your choice, really. It was based on a video game. I didn't know that. It was an Oculus.
Well,
It was a game made for the Oculus Rift. That was the original game was set in medieval Europe, I believe.
you also would, I mean, you may have noticed the opening credits, Ubisoft. How do you, does anyone know?
I think it's Ubisoft.
Ubisoft, listed as a producer on the film.
We should mention, longtime fan and patron Whitney works for Ubisoft, so we should ask her how it's pronounced.
We could definitely get a pronunciation. Yeah, so that is definitely, I would say, one of the most pertinent facts. I read a little bit. I've never played it. Has anybody played it? Because it's an Oculus only game. It looked like so.
What is that? Oculus? What?
It's the VR. It's like
I see.
Oculus is the VR it was like the first one that really started this new wave, and then they were acquired by Facebook.
Yeah,
And then they let go of the guy who invented it because he turned out to be a crazy Trump dipshit.
Huh.
Yeah, good times.
Good. I mean, it's one of the few good things Facebook's ever done, I think. So that's not confirmed, but
Let's not give him too much credit.
but yeah. So Werewolves Within. I haven't played the game. I read about it. I mean, what I was curious is like if the characters like come directly from the game. I don't think they do because to your point, Eric, the setting looked a little more fantastical. I mean, it was old timey, but also like it looked like there's like a wizard and there's different kind of types of characters. In any event, this film produced in partnership with Ubisoft comes to us from Josh Rubin, who we just last year we watched Scare Me. Y'all remember Scare Me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
This
yeah.
was it was like a 3-character film. So Josh Rubin like starred in that, also directed it, directs this, and yeah, I mean it tells a pretty simple story. You've got a new ranger. He's like with the Forest Service, Finn Wheeler, played by Sam Richardson. He arrives in this town. It's in Vermont, I think. There's like a couple maps in the movie. It's either Vermont or New Hampshire. It's in
the couple that owns like the yoga place. Don't they say that they're from Vermont or something?
It's
not-
in any
not
event,
important.
it's New Englandish. There's lots of snow, but you've got this like fairly substantial cast of characters. There's like, so he immediately meets the woman who owns the local inn, like the sort of B&B there. Her husband has recently disappeared. There is the mail woman who's like sort of quirky, fun lady. There's like the two rednecks that run the auto place, or one of them does the auto stuff, and the other one's like her boyfriend and may or may not have a job. It was unclear. There's like this big cast, and effectively, what happens is they discover that the B&B owner's husband has been murdered. Well, there's a dog that disappears, and its collar shows up. Then they find the body of the husband, and so it very quickly dawns on them that there is something going on in the town. A snowstorm rolls in. They all get sort of marooned here in this town, and someone also then goes around and destroys all of the generators, so they don't have any power. And when they go to see the generators, they look like they've been slashed. So it all is pointing toward.
I gotta say the generators look mildly convenienced by the slashing. I feel like they could have gone a little more intense with the damage.
Yeah, they could have been repaired. It's not a very handy crew. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, so this kind of it generates a lot of strife within the town. This group had already they were already at odds with each other over this guy who was trying to pay them to put a pipe through, like a gas pipe through the town. So there's like
pipe.
He's just trying to lay some pipe, Joe. I don't know.
I brought this. Can I put this someplace?
So yeah, so the town was like already at odds. This only like heightens their issues, and then sort of maybe werewolfy stuff starts happening. It's left like pretty open. We'll talk about the ending, I'm sure, but that's generally the setup.
Yeah, it's like they joke about it too. They joke about the fact that really deep in the movie you don't know if there's a werewolf. Like there's a character at some point just yells like, "Is there a werewolf?" Like I don't know.
Yeah. We should say this is a comedy. I didn't necessarily tee that up. All of the actors here, and like it's a lot. I think we were maybe joking about this last episode, but it's a lot of like, I recognize that guy, or I know that. It's like people that you've seen in like sitcoms. You've seen them maybe in other movies in smaller parts. All like just super funny. Top to bottom.
John?
Like,
did you cop the AT&T girl as our lead lady?
I was gonna say she's the main.
Good for her for doing something that's not.
She was I was looking. She was apparently like one of the characters in Superstore, I guess, which was like a pretty.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty.
She's been she's in a couple of makes a couple of appearances in other shows.
Yeah,
love it. All right, Cece, tell me what you thought of Werewolves Within.
So I came in pretty blind to this and had a really good time. I think that it's a really good balance of kind of suspense and dark comedy. I wouldn't say that there was any scary moments, but it was a nice, fun little ride, and all of the actors are hilarious. So I enjoyed it.
Joe.
Yeah, I'll go as far as to say I loved this movie.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I also loved it. There you go.
No. Your turn is done. So I had watched the trailer for this. I really love Sam Richardson. Like he just cracks me. I think I've talked about Detroiters a ton on this before. And he pops up in I Think You Should Leave, which just came back. And he is freaking hilarious. And I mean that whole show is amazing. So I was fairly excited for this. I think I'm out the next couple of weeks, and like I pushed to do this before I left. And I was not disappointed. I mean, I think it's funny right off the bat. Melania, I don't know how to say her name. The AT&T woman. She's amazing.
That's what she wants to. I think that's how she likes to, be addressed. Actually, so
like I really wasn't sure what to expect, and I didn't realize she had such a large part based on the trailer. But like, she is awesome. Like. Mm-hmm. From that scene where like she's dancing in that bar, I'm like, I think I love you. Like she was great. And like I think Leslie watched this with me, and at one point I joked, I'm like, I don't even want this to be a horror movie. Like I just want to watch her and Sam Richardson like potentially get together. Like you could turn this into a Hallmark movie, and I would be perfectly happy.
There's a lot of chemistry there.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
for sure.
For
sure. And I mean the rest of the cast, like the two sort of rednecked or like pretty much meth addicts, I think, are like everything that they do just cracked me up. So, and down the line, like I thought everybody was great. So yeah, I was a really big fan of this.
Casey.
I enjoyed this a lot as well, and I would dare say I loved it. This movie's pretty funny from beginning to end, and like everybody's saying, the cast on this is just unbelievable. These folks are like my go-to. This entire cast is like my go-to for sitcoms and stand-up and stuff like that. So it's really exciting to see them all get in there and play well with each other, and they do a really good job with it. The timing's perfect. It leads to the story and the tension, and they all play off each other so well. So I'm going to let us get to the main part of the show because I think we all loved it. But John or whoever's next.
Yeah, I also love this. I was like legit giggling after the first like 2 minutes. The movie opens with Sam Richardson driving the car, and he's listening to like the worst motivational speaker tape.
Now we're gonna
I've-
chant balls.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
I mean, it's so great. I mean, I like Joe. I love him. He's like one of my favorite characters in Veep. I mean, it's so as soon as I saw that he was sort of the main character, I was like, really into this. It
Yeah.
delivers 100%. It's for me a lot of why I ended up enjoying it as much as I did was probably the joke density. Like it is just firecracker, just boom, 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 boom. There's a conversation to be had around whether it's a horror movie at all. It like gets there, I guess, like a little tiny bit at the very end.
It gets there. Yeah.
No, it does. And listen, like it's about
Yeah,
werewolves. Like,
sure.
Yeah.
it has werewolf in the title. That like default gets it into our queue. But
I think this is
I
definitely
guess
a genre movie, John.
what's
Let's-
that?
It's definitely a genre movie. Let's not.
No,
Yeah.
no.
There's
I'm
multiple murders.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are murders. No, and when it jumps off, I guess so. Like I will try to play the role of person who offers some criticism of the film.
Of course.
No, like look, it's great. People should watch it. I love the movie. And this you could say this almost about any comedy. Like the pacing, there are times where I like wanted different. Like so, the main action of the film is actually when it's not. It has something to do with werewolves, but not that much. It's mostly about the townspeople starting to turn on each other. That stuff all gets crammed into like 15 minutes. It feels very rushed when it starts
Yeah.
to happen.
Oh, see, I love the way it suddenly like turns and it gets crazy.
Well, I mean, look, like I get it. I just felt like there was like
I don't
a
think you
couple,
do.
like there were parts that got strung out a little, and then there was those parts where I was like, I wished I could
Yeah.
have gotten a little more. But
Interesting.
that's
I can agree
It-
with you there.
Yeah, it was
thank you.
it was a hard turn, right? Like there is one specific thing that happens where you're like, oh shit, like this is popping off now, and like it just comes completely out of the blue, right? Like
Yeah.
so I guess I can somewhat agree with you, even though
Somewhat.
you're
I
an
know
asshole.
that's hard, so
I-
hard for all of you. But
I'll be honest. I loved this thing front to back. It's very, very good. And honestly, I haven't seen anything with a vibe like this in a long time. It's interesting to find out it's from the dude who made that. What was that other movie within the cabin?
scare me.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
because
written by Mishna. I can't think of her last name, but she is a comedian, like satirist, whatever. But she is the ex-wife of Mark Maron. So I mean, she
Oh, interesting.
like
Okay.
she's the sole writer, and I mean, knocked it out of the park.
Well, I think what's interesting is like too in a comparison to like the first work from this director, it has like all the things I think for me worked about that movie, which are the visuals, the atmosphere. Like I wasn't able to get into a movie that didn't really have a story until the end. Like I just wasn't. I know people like that. I wasn't crazy about it, but this you can feel it in this movie, like the atmosphere, the visuals, like everything outside has this great blue cold feel to it. Everything inside is super warm. The set decoration is awesome. I really love this like collection of actors. There's just so much. Everybody is a character. Like I was reading an interview with the director, and they were saying that basically they wanted all these each of these characters to be somebody that you could dress up for as Halloween. And you really see it in the costume design. Everybody is sort of quirky and has these little affectations with like their look and their style. I love filmmaking like that. I love attention to detail like that. And it's especially, it is especially impactful in a film like this where you're just trying to set up this goofy small town vibe. So to me, it reminds me of stuff like Tremors. It reminds me of The Thing. It's got some like Fargo vibes. It sort of wears, I think, a lot of its inspiration on its sleeve without ever feeling derivative. It's a pretty original story. It's very, very funny. I don't think it's on the horror comedy scale. It's mostly comedy, but there still is some violence. And there's the scene that John's talking about is actually kind of my favorite in the movie, where 2 or 3 people, when it kicks off, like 2 or 3 people die in like about 30 seconds. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I loved that scene in particular where the one person gets shot in the car, like when all the shit pops off in that first moment. It's just a shitload of fun. And then I also think it has a kind of trope defying twist that I think when you look at the relationship at the core of this movie, I think you could write think pieces about the a lot of the gender stuff that's happening in this movie. So yeah, I think it's awesome. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because so you're right. It is an ensemble film, right? I mean, as much like Sam Richardson's the main character, but it works because of the collection.
Yeah.
And the way that they kind of all fit together. Well, I guess one argument for like rushing some of the violence stuff or packing it kind of tighter
Fuck's
into
sake,
the
John,
end.
seriously?
No, because like what Eric was just saying about like it really is like 3 people in like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But like it actually gives you the most time with the ensemble. Like it keeps the most possible people alive for the longest.
And then also
So-
it's like, okay, now we need to get rid of these characters.
Well, exactly. Now it's like
Later.
all right, like we got to start trimming things down. Yeah.
There are 2 actors, at least 2, like maybe more, from Orange is the New Black in this movie. Almost made me wonder if some of the casting or producers were like involved in that.
Yeah.
And a dude
Definitely.
from Boardwalk Empire.
Is that the guy who plays the Glenn Fleshler? Is
The woodsy guy.
The woodsy
The
He-
Woodsman, yeah.
he
I
put-
did not recognize him at
Oh,
all.
he's also in Barry, and he plays
Yeah.
the
Oh,
bad
yes.
guy in True Detective.
Yes, he is. Oh, dude, you're right. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Looking very
That-
different.
that-
Like
he's
he just
real creepy.
he
Oh, I
has a
didn't
very
realize that was him.
yeah, he has a
Yeah.
real distinct look, which is the only reason why I clocked him. But yeah, he does look very different than he normally does in this movie.
Good looking gentleman, though.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
So what else, guys?
It's good. It's cool. I mean, what are some of our favorite scenes, I guess, is the question.
I don't know, but I can tell you, I love the comedian Michaela Watkins, who was
She's the dog lady.
Chachi's mom. That lady cracks me up in
Oh
general,
my
and
God.
she was
Yeah.
on point this movie.
Yeah.
I
She's
really
very
liked that you have Harvey, what's his name? The guy from
Yeah.
What We Do in the Shadows.
Alien?
Yeah.
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 Alien.
He and Cheyenne Jackson were really funny.
Oh my God, they were great. What was his?
He keeps talking about Argentina.
Yeah. Well, and
Yes.
like, we're rich. You can't say that. Like,
Dude,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
the comedic chemistry between those 2 dudes as playing couple was so good, and they have like
Yeah.
some of the best lines in the movie.
Joaquin?
What with an M?
man.
That kid is hilarious. He's always Guillermo at our house. I loved his little finger gloves when he was down there.
I very much- I enjoyed when the guy, he had like a revelation and he told everybody to shut their whore mouths. That's like one of my favorite.
Where do I know the guy who played the redneck man, the man redneck?
I don't know him from anything, but Sarah Burns, the woman you've seen in like just about everything, and she is always hilarious. So
Yeah, the husband was in that show Wrecked that was on I think TBS for a bit, and he's shown up in a couple other smaller parts. That's where we knew him from.
Yeah, he was in Silicon Valley for an episode. All right. He's
Yeah.
like similar, like he's like one of these people where I'm like, I vaguely recognize this dude, and they give him a lot of room to work. Like again, each character, I loved Eric the way you describe, or how they described it is like they wanted them each to be a Halloween like they legit are each their own
Yeah.
Yeah.
caricature.
No one was like not thought through, and I really like film it. Like I like when they
Yeah.
think through characters like that to an absurd degree that you necessarily might not notice.
Well, they made sure all the couples matched up well and worked well together and played off of each other. But then they made sure that they still, when they had them all mixed up, they still worked well together too.
And you know what it is that's kind of interesting too? It's like it's almost like different styles of comedy coming together. So like the redneck couple are like a very distinct. I really liked them because they kind of bounce in and out of the movie at times, so like really lighten things up. And then like the sort of joke lane that the gay couple is in is kind of their own thing, and then you've got the like conservative people, like they're all really almost approaching it with like different styles of comedy, which makes for this fascinating blend when they're all together in the same room.
Yeah, and the brother from Orange is the New Black, who's a little handsy. That one was killing me throughout the movie too.
Isn't that Beavers from
Yeah.
Broad City?
No, the
It's not?
roommate, different
It's not?
guy.
Oh,
They
they
look.
look so similar.
There's definitely a similarity for sure, but yeah, I no, I mean, it almost makes me want to go back and revisit Scare Me, which like
I'm good.
I remember not loving, but I do think like because Eric, you talked about the way just the way some of the like art direction works, both interiors and exteriors. Like I loved the way he shot like some of the, like when they were wrapping the guns up, right? Some of this stuff was like I would say heavily influenced by
It's
like a
shot
Knives Out.
It's shot incredibly well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody on Slack compared it to Knives Out as well,
Yeah.
which I don't know. I mean, any sort of who done it could be
Yes.
with a group of people. But
Well, and
I mean,
Knives
I
Out-
get it. There is a similar tone for sure.
And
I
Knives
mean, I
Out is
think-
just an amalgam of a bunch of really old shit anyway. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think there are some, like, if we did go back and watch Scare Me, like, I think some of the tone in there probably you can see, like, coming into this. I don't know if I would actually go
the
back and watch
tone
the
is
entire thing,
close.
but, like,
The tone is close for sure, and stylistically you can see it like the evolution from one to the other.
Well, he did like
exactly. Like,
he did lots of fun stuff with very little, right? Like it was all like shadows
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
like creaks and shit like that. And this movie, I mean, we talked about it a little bit. I don't know if we want to kind of go all the way to spoiling or talking about the ending, but like it goes, it's only 95 minutes long or so. You go like 80 minutes without knowing if there's a werewolf or not. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with spoiling, but we should just warn people because I actually not knowing was part of the interest for me because I
Yeah.
liked, which is surprising that they kind of kept me for that long without telling me. Normally I get like
Yeah,
antsy and
it
annoyed.
became fun for Colleen and I. We were guessing who it was, right?
it broke my heart. Like, Leslie called it pretty early.
Well, let's
and
give
I'm like,
let's give a spoiler.
oh.
We'll give a spoiler alert. Do you want to tell
Yeah.
us what it is, Joe?
Yeah, so spoiler alert, I guess. But so they're kind of hinting around, and they give this. They pretty much give clues that everybody involved here could potentially be the werewolf. But I think the one that they hint on most is like at a certain point, I forget who brings it up, but they say, there was a time where they would kill the seventh born of any family because that person would be the werewolf. And earlier in the movie, what's her name? The
Cecily?
male woman, says, "Oh, there's 7 of us in my family." So you're kind of like,
Yeah.
so you kind of call it, but up until the very end, like John said, like with 5 minutes left, he's still not sure. But then she reveals herself, and not only does she reveal herself, but like the chemistry we were talking about, like how much I enjoyed her and Sam Richardson together. She reveals herself as the werewolf, but then also says like all the sort of like flirting and playing along was just like complete
It's-
bullshit.
it's
So I can
brutal.
pull you in. And it's like,
brutal.
It was amazing.
That to
Yeah.
me is like what. So I did not pick it up at all. Like I
didn't
mean,
either.
but as soon as you know, it's like very obvious because you look the thing that's like in my mind the biggest giveaway in retrospect is that the male woman outfit that she's wearing
Yeah, it's
is
too
the
big.
guys that she kills. It doesn't fit her at all.
Well, you know
Like,
what?
she's walking-
I like said something about it when I noticed it, but never just didn't make it connect. I just was like, well, that's kind of weird. Like, could they not have
No,
got her uniform?
totally. I was like, wow, this is weird. Like maybe it's like a really warm weather male person.
You know
or,
what
like,
it is
warm-
though? It's like because even if you might be thinking it, you're then in your head like, are they really gonna do that? Because like if they do it, they're taking away that arc for you, that satisfaction of seeing
Yeah, yeah.
the two of
Yeah.
them, whatever, at the end. Like that's a very traditional movie thing. And like you're like, and so in my head, you're like, they could do it, but man, that'd be kind of fucked up. But then when
Well-
they go there, you're like, you kind of have to respect it because it's such a different move.
I loved when she says the thing about like are you kidding? Like why, because to me one of the weirdest parts of the movie is how quickly she's like trying to like seduce him. It's like literally within
Yes.
20 minutes
He
of
just
meeting him.
moved there and she's like, we're in love. Like,
And
Well, but
he's
it also
like a
plays
dude.
well because I mean it's
John.
a small town and
totally.
like
Yeah.
like there's literally it seems like 12 people there. So,
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
I like that it's still folded into the story well enough that it's believable. But
Yes.
It's weird that you said she was moving too fast, John, but not him. Like that's
No, but
that's
like
kind of
she
curious.
is
She is
going
being
at- I mean,
no, but she
he's
is being
100%.
he is
driving
not
that.
he's not like the
Yeah.
forward person
he-
in that relationship.
Yeah, like he literally stops kissing her to take a phone
Yeah.
call from his
No.
ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that whole thing when he's like, oh wait, I'm broken up. Like it's just him and the ex-girlfriend it's so brutal.
I mean, I love the
It's-
exchange between the two of them after she reveals herself when she basically says like, yes, werewolves are real, and that's more realistic than this version of me that you bought as being real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so like because I feel like in this type of movie, like I think when Leslie called it, I'm like, oh, I hope that's not true. But if it is, I hope they still end up together somehow. And like
Joe.
I feel like in this type of movie they would, right? Or
Well,
like
she
there
says
Yeah.
she says I was trying to turn you. She doesn't say I was trying to kill you.
Yeah, yeah. But like she makes it very clear that like she has no sort of romantic interest in him at all. And like pretty much says like, I was just playing this along. And it's like, oh fuck. Like they really kind of go there, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty brutal.
It's
I
heartbreaking.
think they did a great job with using this ensemble too. They really kind of avoided the plot dump problem here. They did a really good job of incorporating everything that was coming out about that plot and making sure we had everything we know as being part of the trade-off with some of these characters.
Well, because there's a lot of conflict at a lot of different levels. Every character, every set of characters, they have their sort of beef. But you're right, it is strung out. There's a good bit of plot dump. Like the first time that they're walking around town, she's kind of like explaining to him, but it fits because he's new arriving. Like she has to kind of get him acquainted. I don't know. So,
But the
What
whole
is-
seventh son thing, though, is presented so perfectly. It's just something that Joaquin was saying in Argentina myth or something like that. And it was kind of a throwaway line. And then you get to the end, and that's another one that's like, oh, shit, they've been telling us from the beginning.
Well, and I love that's a really fine line to walk that I don't know is appreciated enough when it comes to screenwriting. Like putting down foreshadowing like that might tip some people off, but largely goes unnoticed, but then is so obvious in hindsight. That is such a
Right.
fine line. It's so easy to
Yeah.
overwrite that and make it over obvious, or make it so not obvious that you have to like bend over backwards in the end to connect the dots for people. Like this it's just perfectly done. Like as soon as you get the reveal, it all snaps together. And that's really impressive screenwriting, I think.
They do that, but they also, they hint at potentially it's the doctor because like she's kind of creeping around the house, so you think potentially it's her. And then at one point, Trisha, the character, murders someone, so you're like, oh, there's not a werewolf at all. Like she's just gone batshit. So they play it right up to the end, and I think they did it really well.
This is Mishna. Her name's Mishna Wolf. It's her first movie that she wrote, and
That's pretty impressive.
Wrote it all alone. Yeah.
I think my favorite side character, honestly, is the environmentalist lady. Like she's
Oh
very
my God, she was hilarious.
she's very subtle but so funny, and I loved there was a nod to just her doing like science, like because every time he's in the room, there's just like science machines and like.
Well, it was great. Yeah, they have a great moment, which was totally intentional, where it's like she's running a test and it's just like flashing on her screen, like processing.
Inconclusive.
yeah. It's just, that's how science works. So
Yeah. I thought for sure it was her for a bit, too. They had me pretty well fooled.
Yeah. Terrific. Just terrific. It's a shame you didn't like it, John.
Lord.
It is a romp. It's a great romp. As Eric said, like it's more comedy than horror, but it's really funny. Like that's what it comes
funny,
down.
But it's a really like I can see it already gaining like cult, notoriety. Like this is a good movie to revisit. Like year after year or multiple times to.
Yeah, I love the thing Eric mentioned where like they wrote these characters that like you would want to dress up for Halloween as
Right.
like each of them. Like that's awesome. That's such a great idea.
Yeah, and honestly, I'd rewatch it again now probably because I'm sure there's jokes that we missed because they're packed in there so heavy.
I always do that like litmus test myself when I'm watching movies for the show. I'm like, would I watch this again? And this is the first one I've seen in a while that I was like, yeah, I would. Because even some of the really good like prestige year stuff that we've seen sometimes is so intense that I'm like, I would never watch this again, even though it's really good. So yeah,
I think I'm gonna try to get my wife to watch it, which is like, that's like a line.
It's pretty.
She won't watch.
I think
even
it's
like
pretty
a murder,
normie.
she gets a little.
It's pretty normie friendly for like people who are into
Yeah.
comedy.
Yeah, for sure.
Totally.
I mean, Kyle likes horror movies, but is very nihilistic in the movies he enjoys, and we both really enjoyed this. So.
Oh, it would break my heart if he didn't like it.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So did Maggie. We were watching it, and Maggie kept biting Kyle's leg as we were watching it. So maybe she's a werewolf too.
There you go.
So let's wrap this up, huh?
Love it. Would you, Joe? I'm definitely gonna need my top 10 list. On the
Yeah,
other side.
yeah, I got it.
Cece, recommend.
Yes, definitely.
Joe,
Yeah, for sure.
Casey,
Absolutely.
John.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a
shocker.
That's a thumbs up for me, dog. That's 5 thumbs up from the BGH crew. Let's take a quick break and do some fan mail.
Somewhere in deepest space, all hell is breaking loose.
They cut the power.
How could they cut the power, man? They're animals.
Get them out of there!
Aliens. This time it's war. Aliens, the new movie. Rated R.
This is Diane Franklin from Better Off Dead with Bloody Good Horror.
Send feedback to info@bloodygoodhorror.com or on Twitter using hashtag AskBGH. Join Patreon to get back episodes and much more. Patreon.com/bloodygoodhorror.
And we're back. Joe,
Are we? Yeah.
how's the 5K training going?
Oh, it's going good, buddy. Feeling it. Feeling the burn.
You gonna beat Schnars this year?
No.
No.
Joe, when is it in relation to your thon?
Oh, so John, you're ruining my jokes. It's that weekend. It's the same. So, yeah, the weekend of October 8th. That's a Friday, but Friday to Sunday, go out, run yourself a 5K or a 10K. Send us the results, and we'll have fun. It's the we say this is the 4th or is the 3rd? I've been saying the 4th, but it might be the 3rd.
I think it's the 4th.
I think it's the 4th. I think we did 2 on Halloween. We did one in March, May or something.
Yeah, it was like a one-off, but I
In-
think this
in
would be the 3rd
quarantine?
annual one, right?
Third
Like,
annual,
I don't
yeah. I think that's correct.
You were
All
gonna
right.
just drop like a casual 45K and just
Yeah. Well, no, my whole thing with the joke was going to be like, oh, and, taking pictures from the star line, be like, I can't believe how many people turned out for this. It's great. Nobody will remember this. By the time
yeah, no,
we're
I'll
doing it.
forget. Don't worry.
Yeah.
It'll be good.
But yeah, it's for those of you that are somewhat new, but we've done this for the past 3 or 4, maybe 7 years. We're not quite sure. But it's the Bloody Good Horror. It started as a 5K. Then last year we expanded it to a 5K and a 10K. You go out, you run, you email us, bloodygoodhorror@gmail.com. Just a screenshot of your app, whatever you're using. And then folks in the continental U.S. here will send you a prize. folks outside, we'll get you like a back episode or something. But everybody wins. There's no entry fee. It's just for shits and giggles and just being there.
It's very cool. We and we should point out too, lots of people walk. I've walked it before. I've ran it. I've ran it some years. We've had people who will just like go out together for a day in the town and like track their steps while they do it, and that's the 5K. Like it's a really cool, very inclusive.
There's no time limit. We don't post anybody's results. Like we'll mention who had the fastest time, but like it's not really about. There's no like winners or losers.
A lot of people will go, but a lot of people will voluntarily go on Slack and share their routes and their times and stuff. It becomes like a very cool communal event every year, which is nice.
Yeah, we get a ton of people that post up like pictures or tweet about it. Use the hashtag #RunBGH, and it's a communal thing.
And we've had people as far away as like Australia and Japan do it, which is very cool.
Oh yeah, we've had like military folks stationed overseas. We've got folks in England, in Australia. Usually, like they're like the first ones to send in their results. It's been great. It's been really cool.
John, who is the BGH champ? Is it you or Andy?
It's John. Bro. John for sure. Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Wow. Okay. Cool flex, John.
I'm gonna be coming in pretty good shape because my marathon's not until November. So.
Oh, which one are you doing?
Philly.
Oh.
I'm back, baby.
Is it hard to dodge all the garbage?
They sweep some of it out of the way.
You have to like swerve around the marching Klansmen. Is that the thing there, Joe?
Boston has Heartbreak Hill. Philly has Garbage Alley. You got to get through.
You got to run to Manayunk. So there were people handing out beer. I ran the Philly that was my first marathon, and in Manayunk there were people handing out beers. Like you've done.
When I ran Richmond, there were people handing out beers, and I made the mistake of thinking like, "Oh, this is a great idea." And wasn't.
John, you've done Boston, right?
Yeah.
How would you rate those inclines? Because I used to ride my bike on that path to work, and there's some hardcore inclines on that.
Yeah, it's not great. It's where it comes in the race that's really hard because it's like 20 miles in.
Because that's when you hit the city, and it's just it's craziness.
Yeah. Well, Boston is actually a net downhill because it's a point to point. It's not a circle.
You're running to the ocean, basically.
So yeah, exactly. You start on a high. So it's actually, people say like what makes it so hard is most people don't train enough downhill running, and it's like much harder on your quads.
The whole run into the city is downhill, pretty much. Yeah. Interesting.
And then you hit the hills that are just they're not even that long. They're just fucking steep.
I had dinner with Schnars that night that he ran Boston, and he had a tan line where his 70s style headband was.
Yeah. They used to do a lot of headband running. It's a good time.
Love it. All right, BGH 5K, can't wait. It's always a really fun, cool community event. Check that out. Still a couple months away. Plenty of time to train, or not, depending on your speed. Joe, we got a couple emails from Caitlin and Kissimmee this week. info@bloodygoodhorror.com. Has anyone seen this movie? She found a movie on HBO, just in the U.S. version, I guess. It's called Space Truckers. It's from 1996. And at some point, somebody uses the phrase space lawyer. So she wanted to make sure that Adam was aware of this movie's existence.
Oh, I have seen this. It's what's her name? Debbie Mezzer, whatever the heck her name is.
Yeah, Debbie Mezzer.
I've seen that too.
Yeah. There's
Dennis Hopper's in it. Charles Dance. Oh, wow. Guys, this is like it's a who's who.
Star-studded, yeah.
George Wendt. Yeah.
George Wendt. That's amazing. Joe, what were you doing in 1996? This is really the entree that I wanted to get to.
I was a senior in high school.
Uh-huh. What state was the hair in? Was that buzz time?
Yeah. I was like bald as a baby at that point.
Wow. Shaving it.
Guys, this is a Stuart Gordon film. I feel like I gotta go watch this now.
We got Stephen Dorff.
Yeah.
They got him
Dorff.
to steal a line
They
from
got
Joe.
him. He was available.
They got Stephen Dorff in 1996. That must have been hard.
So yeah.
I love it. I really was just I was fishing to get a Joe high school story is what I was really doing.
Oh God, no. Let's not go there.
Joe, that's it for emails. I would like to just remind people that if they would like to support the show, they can check out patreon.com/bloodygoodhorror. You can get a live stream of the show every week where we are all on video. It's in 720p, maybe 1080p. It's hard to say.
Ooh.
I set it up a long time ago.
A lot of P's.
You get to see all these outfits I'm always talking about with John. You can see CC's cool house. You can see Casey looking like Jerry Garcia. You can see Joe's gremlin pop behind him. All that stuff. Also, you can get back episodes. You can get access to Slack. There's a bunch of cool stuff. And help support BGH. Keep us running for another year because that's what the world needs, Joe. It's more BGH.
Yeah. When are we gonna call it quits? Like it's not far off, right? Like we're not.
I mean, we made it this far. Why not keep going? It's like anything.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I got a list of reasons I'm keeping in a Google Doc. Oh, do we want to look at your top 10er?
I would love to. Yeah. I already think I know where this goes.
All right. So right now you've got 1, 2, and 3: Promising Young Woman, Saint Maud, and the Stylist.
Yeah, this is number 2.
Oh.
I knew Saint Maud.
Hesitation.
I knew Saint Maud was not long for that number 2 spot. I was just waiting to see what was going to slide in there. I don't think anything. We'll wait and see what Halloween Kills does this year, but I'm feeling like Promising Young Woman is going to be hard to beat this year.
Yeah. As of right now, you've got 3 spots to fill.
I do get a real Halloween boner though, so no promises, but we'll see.
I
What
was gonna
happens.
say we gotta like there's good stuff
Yeah,
still coming.
no, there's the next few months are going to be real action packed here, but yeah, number 2 so far.
You haven't watched any of the Fear Street movies yet.
That's true. Joe, does this bump anything off the list? Didn't you say? Oh no, last week it's
No.
not full. It's not full yet.
Yeah, no, you've got 3 spots to fill. You've got 1 through 4 now, and then you've got 8 through 10. But you've got 5, 6, and 7 just wide open.
Yeah, love it. Okay, Joe, what do we got on Twitter tonight?
Yeah, we are on Twitter at BG Horror. We post up. You can send in your questions with the hashtag AskBGH, and here we go. First up from Ray D'Angelo, who I think might be a first-time questioner. I have on After Dark's The Grave Dancers in the background, which is such a dumb movie premise, but its ghost design is actually a little frightening. So what's a really stupid movie where you appreciate either the FX or just a particular scene? Dumb horror movie you enjoy for like one reason or another?
I mean, there's lots.
Oh well, hold on. So I took that a little differently. That you just had to like. So like, in my mind, the quintessential example of this is the Slender Man movie, which is one of the hottest pieces of garbage ever committed to film.
It is very bad.
The Slender Man stuff is still scary, and like some of what they do in that movie, like if you were just to see it like on like a creepy pasta thread, you'd probably be like, "Oh, that's scary."
That's true.
You
I
know?
still maintain messing up a Slender Man movie might be one of the most impressive cinematic feats of all time.
Totally.
Well done. Yeah, I don't know if I have any. I mean, I always talk about those the Paranormal Activity movies. Like even the bad ones are still scary as shit.
Even the bad ones will get you once or twice.
There's the joke there is like there's no creature design. You know, it's like you don't. There's nothing to see. But yeah, I agree. They're scary.
I have seen this, The Grave Dancers. I may actually own it on DVD.
John, you watch your mouth.
The premise is god awful, but it did have some spooky scenes.
Is it like a flatliner situation?
It was similar, I think. It's been like 10 plus years since I've seen it. But like literally there was people dancing on graves, if I remember correctly.
Oh.
John,
there was another one I think came out the same
Not
year.
just
I think
a clever name.
It was called Jennifer or something, and it was about this. It was a woman. She had like pretty much a monster's face, but she just like banged guys left and right and like murdered them after. Like it was super weird. It had
interesting.
One of the guys from Wings in it.
Really? What do you know which one? It's kind of important.
One of the brothers, the brother that you probably know from other stuff. I forget his name.
So the main one was Tim Daly. The other one was Steven Weber.
I think Steven Weber, right? He was the more like goofy one.
Yes, and he was in this Shining TV version.
Yes, there you go. Yeah, him. Anyway.
Cool.
Next up, Eric, I know you've been waiting for this one from
hell yeah, I have been.
From Crypt Dads. MFK, Christopher Walken, Christopher Plummer, Christopher Lloyd.
Walken, Plummer, Lloyd.
Who is Plumber? I don't think I know.
Okay,
Christopher.
he is in
Sound of Music.
he's in Inglorious. He's in Inglorious Bastards. He's like the German commander in that. He's Tarantino. He's in like every Tarantino movie now.
Oh, that
Right?
guy,
Sound of
okay.
Music is like a pretty good.
Isn't that
Yeah,
who?
he was,
Isn't
he
Yeah.
was like Danny Van Trapp.
I
that's
think
who?
you would if you're considering him at all. It's in the Sound of Music.
That's
that
who
he's
Christopher
on.
Plummer. That's who Christopher Plummer is, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that no, it's not. Never mind. That's Christoph Waltz.
I was
Yeah,
about to
I'm
say,
like-
I'm trying to think of Inglorious Bastards. Like, where was he
Oh,
in that
Christopher
movie?
Plummer is real.
Yeah.
Here's my problem, John. Everyone in the scenario is like real old.
Yeah. No. Well, is Christopher Plummer? Is he alive, Plummer?
Yeah, he just
Uh,
died.
Okay,
like,
he
last
okay.
No, he
he's
died.
he's who Christopher Plummer is. This is apropos of this evening's discussion. He plays the author in Knives Out, but he's been in a million other movies.
There you go. Yeah, he died back in February.
Okay, so give me these again, John or Joe.
Christopher Walken, Christopher Plummer, Christopher Lloyd.
I'll tell you this: I don't want anything to do with Christopher Walken in a romantic or physical sense. So I think we should
Really?
kill him. Yeah,
I think he
Wow.
would be my Mary.
that doesn't
Yeah,
shock
I think
me.
I would marry Christopher Walken.
I guess I'm
I feel
gonna
like I
marry.
could live a happy life with him.
I mean,
I-
I'd also fuck Christopher Walken,
I
but
wouldn't go on a
I would
boat.
marry him. I don't know why Eric made that face.
I guess I'm
That's
gonna
true.
marry Back to the Future, Lloyd, because he seems like a
Lloyd
nice
would have been
gentleman.
my kill, I think.
And I think
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
F Christopher Plummer because he's handsome. He's a handsome gentleman.
Yeah, I would kill Lloyd. I would marry Walken, and
That sounds like
I'd
that's
screw
insane.
Plummer.
It's those are
Wait,
our
like Plummer when he was alive or dead? Because that might.
what?
Are we talking like current, like right now?
I think he's
it's
still
a time
alive,
travel
Joe.
situation.
Oh
Like,
no,
you're
he
traveling
died.
in
No, he
time.
died in February. You're right.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
just
So those are our friends doing the Tales from the Crypt podcast at Crypt Dads.
All right, next up, Elijah Woody Harrelson. I recall some of the crew discussing cold brew coffee in past episodes. As it is now hot weather season, how do you prefer your cold brew served if you like to indulge? I personally go either straight cold brew on ice or with some almond milk if I'm feeling nasty.
it's
I like a little half and half myself.
I put it over ice because it helps cut it over time if you let it sit, and then
Yeah, I think you
I do
need-
a little bit of cream.
You need ice,
Or-
but I don't do anything else. When I did have coffee, I'll do iced matcha. There's just nothing in it. I know this disgusts Joe.
Yeah, it's well documented. If you don't drink your coffee black, you're
Yeah.
pretty much a disgusting human being.
It's just so good. I mean, listen, cold brew in particular, because of the way it's brewed, tastes so good. Like you don't get any
Oh my
bitterness.
God,
it's
I
just
love it.
all that.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason to put anything in it.
Yeah.
I mean, I can drink it black. I do occasionally drink it black.
The only
but
thing I
no,
ever
it's-
liked in it
Sure you
was
can, buddy.
that there was one summer when Starbucks, their like gimmick was orange. They put orange peels in it when they made it, and that was amazing.
Ooh.
They do one. What?
Because I did it at home a few times, and it worked really well.
Well, so I'll tell you, Joe, I do not put any milk in the nitro. Anyone who orders a nitro cold brew at like a Starbucks, anyone that you can buy them other places now too. If you put the milk in it, it like defeats the purpose of the nitro. But no, they do. It's like honey and like I don't know. It's like one of the fancy things you can order. If you're in the app, they'll like recommend you shit.
Mm.
And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try this, and it was delicious as hell.
Oh, I just go straight up Trenta cold brew black and just mainline that shit. It is
Yeah.
delicious.
That's like me. That the Trenta is a perfect amount for me for a day. Like I'll buy it and like drink it over a day. It's yeah.
All right. I could see Cece falling asleep here.
I am beginning to like cold brew because yes, as a mother, I can't function without caffeine. But
Leslie did not drink coffee until our second kid, and now, yeah, she's like going Trenta cold brew also.
but I get kidney stones, so I can't drink that much. So I have to still
Ugh.
like space it out, and it's
I think Casey does too, right?
Yeah, is that my problem? I do drink a lot of
Maybe.
coffee.
Although, don't you drink beer though, right? 'Cause
I
beer
think
is good
anything
for
that
kidney stones.
dehydrates you is probably
That like
is-
offsets the caffeine.
I think
or-
anything that dehydrates you is probably bad if you're prone
Yeah.
to kidney stones.
Well, kidney stone wise, I think my big problem's right here.
Well, yeah. Same Z's.
Yeah.
All right, next, Grim Reviewer. If you were all locked in a house together, who would snap and start killing the others and why?
Eric. Possibly Cece.
I don't know if it'd be me. I think it'd be Joe.
I was gonna volunteer myself.
I think
actually, but
Joe's.
guess
I think
Eric-
Joe's walking around one affront away from turning into a murderer pretty much every day.
Yeah,
I'm
I
being
could see
honest.
that.
Although maybe not. This,
So I
this
guess
is
like,
listen.
it would be a good movie. It could be any of
This
us.
is
Yeah.
really what you're saying.
It's a whole new world though now. We're talking to Therapy Joe, so he might have worked some of this stuff out. I think.
No, Therapy Joe just means that he's accepted
He's
the
accepted.
things that he needs to do.
That's a good point, Cece. You're right. That it
Yeah.
really is
Yeah.
what therapy is
I
about. Is
won't
acceptance.
feel bad about myself
Yeah.
after I do it.
Right.
All right. Next up from Deus Ex Manatee. If you could only eat food from one country for the rest of your life, what country would it be?
That's hard.
Hmm.
Oh.
We had a similar
Yeah.
version of this question recently.
I mean, just
Either
say
Mexico or Italy, I guess.
just
Yeah,
say
and those to me are the right two.
just
It's
say
like one of those
America
two.
because then you can eat all the foods because we just have all the foods.
Very
That's a
crafty.
life. It's a life
It's
hack.
crafty, except if unless it
I-
boils down
hey,
to like hamburgers and hot dogs.
They didn't say culture.
I'd
They
still
said
be okay with that.
They said
Okay.
Yeah,
country.
I could
I'll
I
give
could
you
eat a
that.
burger and fried chicken for the rest of my life. Like I think I'd be perfectly happy.
Yeah, are French fries still on the table, or do you got to go to like Belgium? Because you
No.
you know you don't really want anything else from Belgium, I assume. But
No.
You don't want like haggis. Is
I think
that
at this
I don't know,
point,
maybe they have
John.
good
I think at
food,
this
eh?
point, I would consider French fries pretty adopted by. I mean, they've been around for a long time here.
Yeah.
Have you been reached Have you been reached regarding your car's extended warranty? From our buddy Skizbot.
oh my god,
All right, and last but not least, on Twitter, then we'll go over to the Insta tweets. At very okay thoughts. What are your thoughts on the new Candyman trailer? I can't remember the last time I was this excited for a remake / revamp.
I have gone out of my way to not watch it besides the one time I saw it.
Yep. Same.
And I mean, I was super excited then and thought it was really well done, but I have not watched it
Yeah,
since.
I'm now so like I watched the first trailer whenever it came out, like 2019, and I have not seen any others, and I'm not watching any others because I get nervous. Like I'm gonna, think something's gonna be spoiled. So
Yeah.
I watched the second trailer and thought it was even better than the first trailer, so I'm officially on that boycott now too. I don't need to watch anymore.
All right. Over on Instagram, we're at Bloody Good Horror. Every Tuesday we post up. You can just send in your questions, and I'll answer them with dumb comments, and then we'll read them on here too. First up, though, our friend who refuses to use the form. Favorite '90s pop song?
Good question.
I mean, I don't know how you pick one. That's tough.
well,
I know. I
the,
got it. Genie in a Bottle. It's either that or it's Bye 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 by NSYNC. We're talking pop. Like, let's talk pop.
Those are 2000s, I thought.
I would have guessed
No.
the NSYNC one was
Bye, bye,
2000s.
bye.
You said 90s.
I'm gonna Google it. I'm pretty sure it was 98.
I will go with somewhat not as well known, but the All Saints song "Never Ever" is hands down like it's up there with the Spice Girls as one of the most amazing songs ever written.
CC Bye 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 came out in 2000, so you're kind of right.
Boom. No, we didn't even talk about it, but the use of I Saw the Sign, so good.
Oh
I
my
mean,
god,
yeah.
so great!
I haven't heard that song in a while, and I was like, oh wow, this
Really?
is great.
It's no joke. I feel like I hear it at least once a week.
But Eric, Genie in a Bottle came out in 1999.
Oh, well, that's my answer then.
Speaking of, have you guys seen the trailer for this HBO documentary on Woodstock '99?
Oh,
I saw.
no.
I saw it was posted. I haven't watched
Joe,
it.
did you see my text? This movie was shot in Woodstock.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah.
It was part of the Hudson Valley Film Commission. John, how do you feel about that?
Got him.
Almost in the capital region.
Yeah.
All right. And then the rest of the questions here. Would you be in favor of a Monster Squad remake?
No.
Yeah.
Here's
why
the
not?
thing, like so much of that movie's charm is like the bootlegness of it. Like they didn't get enough money. They didn't get as much money as they wanted, and they had to really focus what they were doing. It's a small movie. If you go back and watch it, it's like Fred Dekker did a lot to make those scenes feel a lot bigger than they actually were, looking back at it with like a modern movie sort of eye. It's just like you would never in a million years. I mean, it would be nice to remake it with like less kids being homophobic. But
Yeah.
like, I just don't think you'd ever recreate the kind of atmosphere because they would do it with CGI. And it would be way too big. It just wouldn't feel the same. It'd be like an Avengers movie or some shit.
I'm gonna go the other way and say I'm fine with it, and I think they should do it as like a Netflix TV show or something. Because like, why the fuck not? I mean, to your point, there's lots of stuff that needs to be kind of dealt with in that movie.
Like, there's straight up just a teenager hanging out with like 9-year-olds for no reason. It's very weird.
Yeah.
Taking pictures of the babysitter.
So I never really watched that movie when I was little. I only watched it maybe as like a 20-year-old. It was like kind of
so good.
But I also was like, what the fuck is going on for like most of the movie? You know, like I felt like there was lots of references that I was missing because it is referenced in a lot of random places. So I was like glad I watched it, but I'm also like, I don't know, this movie's fucking weird. So.
I interviewed, I'm trying to remember who it was. Was it Craig Nicotero? Somebody who did the effects on that movie years and years ago. It was for Horror Hound. And I was talking to him about it, and I didn't know this at the time, but he was saying it. He's like, yeah, we all made that movie and like felt really bad about it because it wasn't what we wanted to do. And then it was really wild to find out years later to become like such a cult classic. And he was saying that there's this thread in the movie where there were a bunch of like transformation and like things they wanted to do with the Dracula character that they didn't have the money or the time to do. So there ended up being multiple scenes where Dracula just wields dynamite. And it's really stupid when you know that and you go back and look at it. And it was just because they couldn't afford or have time to do anything else. So there's multiple scenes where Dracula's attacking people with dynamite, which is really fantastic.
Favorite unsolved crime?
Ooh. I mean, after watching the latest of Unsolved Mysteries, there's quite a few.
Favorite unsolved crimes are really, this person must listen to true crime podcasts because that's a really
my
weird way to
answer
say
was
that.
we still have yet to find out who burned down Cheryl's she shed.
This is true.
I was gonna say who clogged the toilet at Horror Hound Weekend 2009 or 10 or whatever that was.
That was longer
Just
ago
kidding,
than
it
that,
was
wasn't it?
I don't have an answer.
Who is worse, people who stand up the second the plane lands, or people who clap?
Plain people. Listen,
Standing up.
don't hate it.
Are you talking about clapping on the plane or just clapping?
No,
in
no.
general?
I think they're probably
people
talking
who
about
clap on the plane.
Who claps on a plane?
Oh,
So
I've
there's
heard it.
people where you land
Like,
people
yay, we
clap.
landed?
Yes.
All right, that's psycho, but I really, really effing hate people who stand up. Like, it's so stupid. Like, bro, are you new? Like, have you been on a plane? I guess if you've never been on a plane before, I'll buy that. But you're telling me that 90% of this plane has never flown before because
Exactly.
it's so stupid. It's so stupid.
I'm fine with standing as long as you're not like, if you're bumping into other people, you're
Listen,
an asshole.
I'm
But
but I'm short, and if I go to stand up on a plane, I'm like hunched over. You have like 6 foot tall dudes who look like the Hunchback of Notre Dame for 25 minutes while they're waiting to get off the plane, as if. But the thing is, you're not getting off any faster at all. You're getting off the exact same time everyone else is.
Unless you're in that first 30 seconds, you're going to get your bag out of the overhead and make it to the front
And you're
of the
just
plane.
gonna sit there like you're gonna sit there like no, but they don't let you do that.
The standing is because you've been sitting for however long you've been sitting. That's the only like.
No, but that's not why people are doing it though. It's because they're just antsy. They got ants in their pants, John. They need to relax.
Yeah, because they've been sitting down. That's where the ants came from.
John, are you a stander? Is this what we're getting here?
Oh yeah, I'm 100%. As soon as I can not be sitting in that seat anymore, I'm standing up.
You know what, John? Practice a little mindfulness in your life for once. Just
next
spend
time,
some time
I'm
with
going to
yourself.
stand and clap. It's standing ovation on there.
So if you have a person sitting next to you, you stand. Do you have any idea how uncomfortable that makes them?
If I'm
because then you're just crotch height.
It's just like a crotch in the face.
It's just
I
the
only
crotch.
stand if I'm in the aisle seat. If you're in the window seat, don't stand because like where the fuck are you gonna go?
No one should stand.
No matter what.
Are these rules written somewhere, John? Like, did you read these rules?
No,
I think.
it's just
Hey,
like
listen.
common
I think we
courtesy
can at least all
Are
agree.
those written somewhere?
Yes.
I do think we
In
can
my
at
head.
least all agree that both of these things are better than people who take their shoes off on flights because those people should immediately be ejected into the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Look, you have to wear loose shoes because your feet do swell on airplanes. So like if you are at 100%. That's a thing.
Yeah.
That's why they give you socks. Eric,
I've
have you
never
ever,
taken stock of the state of my feet on a plane. I've never noticed a difference in my feet.
If you go on like an international flight, they will give you socks.
Well,
because
la-di-da, John. I've never been
they
on an
expect you
international
to
flight.
take your shoes off because your feet swell.
I'm not jetting to London all the time, John.
Well, unfortunately, I'm not either. But
which is worse, hot or cold?
Hot.
Hot.
No, I go cold.
Cold really fucks me up, man. I don't like hot either, but cold messes me up.
I can't pick. I'm in the middle.
Yeah, I'm well insulated, so I'll always take cold.
Here's one thing I'll say. You can combat hot, or you can combat cold with just clothing. But to combat hot, you need like an industrial air conditioner, and
Correct.
so
And
you have more options. I feel like if it's just cold.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't. This isn't even like. Is Schnars does wear wig? If does, how much?
Great question, John. Can you enlighten us?
Not a wig.
You sure?
No amount of wig.
Is that man bun like a merkin? Like a man bun merkin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a weave. It's a
clips
weave,
on.
Eric.
What's your favorite fruity liquor drink?
Ooh.
Does peach schnapps count, Joe? And I'm 16.
I guess, yeah. Oh, I guess I said Mai Tai, but I guess that's not a fruity liquor drink.
It is.
I had
That's
some,
probably what they're talking about, I would guess.
Yeah.
I had some of my daughter's green apple Smirnoff, and it actually wasn't terrible.
I was gonna go like a limoncello. Like you got, I think a lemon flavors.
No, John, that's
Yeah.
disgusting.
If it's fruity though, what fruit liquor are you drinking?
I
Mad
think
Dog
Joe's got
2020.
it. I think Joe has it. I think
Does wine count?
no,
It's got grapes in it.
I think we're talking about tropical drinks here, John.
Yeah, I'll go with
See,
that.
I went straight to the poorly flavored vodkas and shit that are all over the place at the grocery
Do
store.
any of those? That sugar gives me a headache.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Do Eric and John get together eventually?
Oh man, will they? Won't they? That's the story of the century
Yeah.
right there.
You
It's
don't
the
wanna
only
spoil
drama
it.
keeping this show going.
Gosh,
Do you all like Fear Street Part 1, 1994? Also, thumbs up for queer antagonists.
I have not seen it yet.
Yeah, I haven't watched it
I
yet.
haven't watched any of them.
I
Is there
don't
more
like
than
it.
one?
We're gonna cover it on the show. Yeah, there's gonna be 3 of them.
Yeah.
How many of you have been out to an actual theater now? Who won the bet, or is it still TBD?
What was the bet? I can't remember.
The bet was like when we would actually
When-
go back.
Yeah, well, we haven't as a show yet. That's the thing.
Yeah.
No,
Well, I
well,
think we're close, right?
So what I will say is
We're-
I did see Conjuring in the theater, but not everybody did. Is that right?
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So we have yet
I'll be
to
honest.
do a movie where we all went to the theater, but I think all of us have been back at least once. Is that right?
I have not
haven't
been
been.
back yet.
Oh wow.
I
haven't
haven't
been.
been to like an actual showing. Like we've done that
Okay.
rent the
so
theater.
it's so let me take that back. It's literally just me. I have been to the indie theater down the road here, see some really forgettable Denzel Washington movie, and then I was on vacation a couple weeks ago and I saw The Conjuring.
Hmm.
And it was fine. I'm
We're
still
talking.
I'm still
We're
alive.
talking about going back for the Purge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm into it. That would be this. We might be this week.
I'll be honest. If we never went back to the theater again, I would be perfectly happy.
I mean,
Like-
if companies keep releasing stuff digitally, like we can do that. But it's for some things. There's gonna be things we were gonna want to see that are not gonna be.
Yeah,
digital, too.
yeah.
Well, we missed because we've already missed Quiet Place 2.
Electric
I-
What do you
Boogaloo.
think, John? Do you think like at some point there will be nothing big released VOD at the same time, or do you think that there will be a low ceiling where like there's still going to be some stuff that's going to come out digitally?
There, no, well, so wait. I think that.
Do you think it's
there will
going all the
be-
way back to before, or do you think we're going to get some mid ground?
No, it's going to be mid ground.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Like that Jungle Cruise movie, they're releasing on Disney Plus the same time it's in the theater.
that's
And
awesome.
like that's fucking huge.
Well, the,
Yeah.
the
Yeah, but it
Disney
also costs you
model.
$30.
Yeah, the Disney model is like, it. You know, I don't know if it's working for them or not, but it seems like the most
It seems
logical.
like it is. I mean,
you're
it's
making
like
you're making that
30
money either
bucks,
way. I
but
mean,
like-
expensive, but
if I took my family to the theater, we're talking like 50.
Here's the thing,
And then
you're
I have
ma-
to
Oh,
interact
yeah,
with
you're
it.
making that money either way, and Disney's one of those companies that is so huge. How is the theater company going to push back? Like, okay,
Well,
we'll stop
yeah.
giving you Marvel movies. boom, like that's it. That's like it doesn't even have to be said.
Yeah, because
That's not great for theater owners, obviously.
Who cares? I mean,
Wow, John.
whatever. I don't even get me started at the theater people, but the can you watch Black Widow the day it comes out on Disney Plus?
I don't know.
That movie, I really want to see. I love the cast of that movie.
Yeah, it looks great. So, in any event, but that's where I think we're headed to find you guys.
Well,
All right.
then, so
Other
then
than-
to Joe's point, though, I think like we'll probably settle into some theatrical stuff, but probably less than pre-pandemic, which I'm okay with. I do like the theater.
Yeah. Other than Host, has there been a horror movie set in the pandemic that worked? Yes.
What are the other
I can't
movies?
think
Like
of another one. Honestly. Well, there
What
was
was
that
that one
insane...
with Matt Damon?
Contagion.
Oh well, that wasn't
Yeah.
this pandemic,
No,
but yeah.
Well, there was some. What was the other movie we just watched?
We just watched that insane thing that made no sense, where there was also a pandemic for no reason.
Oh, in this current pandemic we're in. I thought
Yes.
it was
Yeah.
just a pandemic in general.
And I'm not even sure, John, I would call that this pandemic because we weren't really given enough information about it.
Oh, that was in the in the earth. In the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I
Don't
like that
watch it.
movie. That worked.
It's bad.
That worked for me.
Yeah, I liked it.
Not good.
What event in history would you like to see a movie about?
Oh.
I mean, my answer was that whole Ashley Madison debacle. Like, I feel like that would be a lot of fun.
Oh, that
I mean,
was
we already
where
got-
that's like the sugar daddy site that got hacked, right? And all the information
Yeah.
got released about who was on it.
Yeah.
Is that what
That
happened?
would be good.
Well, it was the affairs site, not the sugar daddy.
Yeah, it's
site.
pretty
the
much where
affair.
chance
Yes.
encounters, and then somebody released all the email addresses.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
And it was all dudes practically.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they did find that. Yeah, you're right.
The best
Which,
man
like,
at my
a
wedding.
quarter of it, I was just listening to a podcast that was talking about that.
Oh.
And I mean, like, a pretty good percentage had .gov email addresses as well.
Oh,
There's a surprise.
Yeah.
First thing I
Oh.
did was looked up my office's email address, and like 9 people came up.
How like
Wait, for
I don't
real?
understand. Just use your non-work.
Why on
email. Like, are
earth would you use
mental?
your
Like,
work
what's-
email?
Well, I think these people probably thought like, oh, I'm not using my personal, I'm using my
Right,
work. Like,
using my work.
John, those people are living life in the edge. That's what they're doing.
I
Yeah.
mean, just
Email
make a
is free.
Just make a
email.
just
Like-
make a fake email that's like john.doe at like that's it. You're done.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
John Schnars at gmail.
Make an email. It's
J-
SCH.
that's the one I use.
It's SCHNAARS.
Yeah. Oh god.
Don't-
That's
let's
a
not
good
give
answer, Joe.
let's not
There's like
give
a lot of other things.
let's not give COW Flanagan any ideas.
Favorite tiki treat fruit? Pineapple, lime, or grapefruit?
Pineapple is the
Lime.
Pineapple.
superior fruit. I
Yeah, I
think.
would go pineapple. Does anybody actually like grapefruit?
Nah, it's
Yeah.
gross.
Yes, I love grapefruit actually.
Ugh, of course you do,
Okay.
John.
Your-
Do you
A
add sugar
greyhound,
to
I
it?
believe, is a greyhound is a grapefruit.
with your
Yeah.
shirts, your
Vodka.
shirts and your loafers, your pants. Makes sense.
It's a little early in the day for hot action, but I
it?
but I have medium. Will that do? I think in the question I said like give me hot action.
I'll be honest, it's
Then-
never too early, Joe. I don't think. Like,
Yeah,
just- you're in-
exactly.
if you're in the mood,
Um,
let's do it.
What's your favorite non-alcoholic beer? I don't think I've ever actually had one.
None.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Does
all
not-
kind of the same. Like they're all very almost. They're I don't know. It's very interesting. They're not good. None of them are really good.
Just
but
drink
there-
a soda.
I will
Like,
say, Joe, I have seen. This isn't really like I wouldn't do that now, but there are companies now that are attempting to make more like craft style ones. But I'm sure it's
It
still trash.
was, yeah. It was like a thing. I want to say like a year or so ago. And I don't fully understand why, to be honest. I mean, my uncle drinks non-alcoholic beer because he's a recovering alcoholic. So I feel like he just liked the taste, so he switched over to that. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Me personally,
It's
I've
like gluten
never-
free beer. I haven't had gluten in 6 years now, and I'm still like gluten free beer is almost all trash. Like I can
Yeah.
count on one hand the amount of good ones I've had throughout the years.
All right, we got 3 more here. Bloomhouse Exorcist, yay or nay?
Yeah. I
Probably
mean, you're
nay.
talking about maybe the best horror movie of all time, definite top 5. Like I'm good with
Yep.
the Blumhouse
Wait,
remake.
is that like a real thing or is it
Yeah,
just
I
like
think so, right?
I think I saw that. Yeah,
Oh.
Ketchup or ketchup?
ketchup.
Ketchup.
What is ketchup?
Mm.
cat? Yeah.
I've heard that, but I'm just saying it's stupid.
All right, last but not least, I feel like this is a good one. Favorite hot sauce?
Frank's. I'm pretty simple.
I like.
Drizzles, Louisiana.
Mm,
I really like hot sauce, but I'm one of these people that like I don't ever experiment with new one. Like if someone would like give me a hot sauce sampler, I think I would like love it. But I don't know. Like we have Tabasco, and I just put that
I
on my
like the
eggs.
Tabasco makes a Chipotle one that's like darker and it's
Oh,
smoky.
That is very
It's
good.
got
Yeah,
a
it is
smoke
good.
flavor in there.
Although
It's really-
Valentina's is really good as well.
I'm a
yeah.
Texas Pete's fan. I enjoyed a great
when
deal.
I was still having hot sauce, I got pretty into sriracha. Like sriracha and mayo is a real good combo.
I almost don't consider sriracha to be hot sauce, although
It's hot.
there are like hotter varieties of it.
It's baby
very
hot.
smoky.
You hipster, fuck you.
All right, Sean Evans.
That's it.
All right. So are we purging this week? Is everybody in? Is that what we're doing? Everybody who can make it? I know Joe's
We
out.
got to put our hands into the middle and purge, and yeah.
I have heard it's the best one.
What?
Which
I
doesn't
have,
it doesn't surprise me because honestly I feel like each of those sequels has been better than the
I
previous
was gonna say
one.
they've been like getting continuously
Which is
better
kind of
each
nuts.
time.
Yeah, it's kind of like reverse what you'd expect, but yeah.
Right.
I've been like avoiding. I don't even think I've seen a full trailer. I know it's like sort of old westy, or I think it's like
More
it's
deserty.
meant to look like the old west. But yeah, I think it's like present day. I don't know, but I'm very excited to
It's
see it.
a pre-apocalyptic western.
I'm excited to talk
Yes.
more about how the purge makes no sense, but is still awesome to watch.
Yeah.
Like none
I
of the
love
logistics make
westerns too.
sense.
So if we get to talk about westerns, like
Yeah.
nice.
Because what would happen, John, is like the entire economy would be built around rebuilding from the previous purge, and then you would get it done maybe just in time for the next one. You know what I'm saying?
Well, also like we need like more people in the country, not less people.
Like,
the-
do you know
the
what
population's,
never?
like,
Here's why it's
going
unrealistic,
down.
John. You know what never happens in these purge movies?
Mm.
Like whole cities burning down. Like you know how many firebugs are out there that would just be like, "Yo, bro, tonight's the night. Let's do this shit." Like
Oh,
you never see
I'm
fire.
totally with you.
You never see
Yeah.
fire crimes in the purge, John. That's all I'm saying. It's unrealistic.
Well, they
You
still
see
have some rules
contained
though.
fire crimes, not as
Right.
And you're right. Like it would go buck wild.
People would spend all year being like, "How could I start the biggest? Like, how could I burn Chicago to the ground? Like, let's do it."
Yeah.
I think about that every day.
Maybe fire's not ruled a class 3 explosive or less, and so they can't use it.
Wait, is
There's
that
got to
a
be
thing?
like at a certain point, like something's gonna catch on fire, right? Like
Yeah.
There are the films have fires in them, but I think
Yeah.
Eric's point is like there would be more
Yeah,
destruction.
it's
in
not
that
just people trying to murder. There's lots of other different like murder, and rape. There's different kinds of crimes people
Yeah.
would be into.
Well, yeah, and they show every movie. You've got these giant apartment buildings. You know, the people are locking themselves in, and they've already made the movie about selling.
Yeah.
The alarm systems are not. So why isn't that arsonist out there just
Right,
saying, "Screw
like
it,"
you're the
and
rich
just
people
set
with
'em
this
all on
alarm.
fire?
You're rich people with this like, cool. You got shutters in your windows. I'm gonna burn your house down, Ethan Hawke. Like, what do you got now?
Yeah.
The movie's
like
over.
if I did my taxes on Purge Day and falsified things in there, would I be exempt?
Dude,
Joe. No, yeah.
you might.
That's
You
good.
know what? I think you're safe as long as you get it notarized.
Yeah,
Joe,
like-
Joe's planning
Okay,
white
but
collar
find a
crimes.
notary on Purge Day.
Well, if it's postmarked, Purge Day.
Yeah.
What,
my-
what male person is working on Purge?
That's the thing,
He got us
Cece.
again.
You find a notary. but-
Milena Von Trapp.
Cece, you could hold a notary hostage by gunpoint to do it, and it would be legal. So boom. done.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
A lot of
I love
things
this.
here.
Cannot wait for this purge movie.
Yeah.
I don't even know what
Can you
it's
imagine going door to door through that building? Are
You
you
can
a
imagine,
notary?
yeah, like the Purge 12 is all just like mail fraud. Like there's nobody actually gonna killed or anything.
called. Oh God. So you're impersonating a post office worker?
Yeah, just shit like that.
Purge day, bitch. All right, guys. I guess that's next week. Hope you enjoyed our discussion on Werewolves Within. Getting into spooky time here. Almost here, John.
Sort of.
I hope you enjoyed the show. John, to the real ones, John, it's starting like now. I know you're not one, but just to let you know, since you're not on Twitter, people are getting into it already. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the show. We'll talk to you next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.